Johnny Manziel's NFL career is often remembered as one of the most disappointing in recent history. Hailed as a college football sensation and Heisman Trophy winner, Manziel entered the league with sky-high expectations. But it all came crashing down like a house of cards. Apart from struggling to adapt to the NFL, his off-field antics had him spiraling out of control until he was nothing but a cautionary tale of unfulfilled talent. Today's video is all about going through Johnny Manziel's life to see how he ended up as one of the worst NFL players ever. Johnny Manziel's childhood and high school years laid the foundation for his meteoric rise and eventual fall in the world of football. Born on December 6, 1992 in Tyler, Texas, Manziel grew up in a sports-oriented family. His father, Paul, was a car salesman, and his mother, Michelle, worked in real estate. From an early age, Manziel displayed a natural athleticism, excelling in multiple sports including baseball, basketball, and football. He attended Tivy High School in Kerrville, Texas, where he became a local legend. As a dual-threat quarterback, Manziel dazzled with his arm strength, agility, and improvisational skills, earning the nickname Johnny Football from a local reporter. In his 3 years as a starter at Tivy High School, Manziel put up video game-like numbers that left fans and scouts in awe. He completed 520 of 819 passes for 7,626 yards and 76 touchdowns, showcasing his arm talent and precision. But Manziel wasn't just a pocket passer. He was a dual-threat dynamo, rushing 531 times for 4,045 yards and 77 touchdowns. And as if that wasn't enough, he even lined up as a receiver at times, catching 30 passes for 582 yards and 5 touchdowns. This impressive record solidified his status as one of Texas's most electrifying high school players. But despite his on-field success, Manziel's rebellious streak began to surface. Even though Johnny Manziel was known for his brash confidence and occasional run-ins with authority, it didn't stop him from receiving offers from schools like Colorado State and Louisiana Tech. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Rated as a 3-time recruit by many scouting services, his relatively small stature and unorthodox playing style led some schools to question his fit at the quarterback position. Initially, Manziel committed to Oregon, drawn by their high-powered offense, but he later changed his mind after the Ducks signed another quarterback. He then committed to Texas A&M, which was probably due to him receiving advice from former quarterback coach Tom Rossley. Manziel's college career at Texas A&M was very unconventional, seeing how Ryan Tannehill left a quarterback-sized hole in the Aggies. Johnny had to prove that he was better than Jamil Showers for the job, and all it took was an impressive performance during spring ball for coach Kevin Sumlin to give him the nod. Manziel was pumped for his debut against Louisiana Tech, but that didn't happen because of Hurricane Isaac, forcing him to make his first start against Florida in front of a roaring Kyle Field crowd. Still, Manziel started the season under the radar, but that didn't last long. Against Arkansas, he exploded for 557 total yards, breaking Archie Manning's 43-year-old record in jaw-dropping fashion. Just 2 games later, he topped himself with 576 yards against Louisiana Tech, becoming the first SEC player to rack up 2 500-plus total offense games in a single season. By the time he torched Auburn with 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing scores, all before halftime, Manziel had officially crashed the Heisman conversation. But the moment that turned Johnny Football into a legend came in Tuscaloosa, facing number 1, Alabama. Manziel put on a show for the ages, accounting for 345 of A&M's 418 yards and tossing 2 touchdowns in a stunning 29-24 upset. The college football world collectively lost its mind, and Manziel became the Heisman frontrunner overnight. On November 24th against Missouri, Manziel faced a scare that he left the game late in the first quarter with an apparent knee injury. But true to his Johnny Football persona, he didn't stay sidelined for long. Strapping on a knee brace, he returned to the field and put on a show, racking up 439 yards of total offense with 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing scores. In the process, he shattered the SEC's single-season record for offensive production with 4,600 yards, surpassing legends like Cam Newton and Tim Tebow. Manziel also etched his name in NCAA history, becoming the first freshman and only the 5th player ever to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in a single season, achieving the feat 2 games faster than anyone before him. His incredible year earned him the SEC Freshman of the Year award and the College Football Performance National Freshman of the Year award. But the crowning achievement came in early December when he made history as the first freshman to win the Heisman Trophy. Almost everyone who saw the heights he reached in the 2012 season thought Johnny would suffer a sophomore slump, but Manziel never let that slow him down. In the 2013 season game against number 1 Alabama, where he threw for a school record 464 yards and 5 touchdowns in a thrilling 49-42 loss. His connection with wide receiver Mike Evans was unstoppable, as Evans hauled in 7 catches for a school record 279 yards, leaving the Crimson Tide defense scrambling. Though the Aggies fell short, Manziel's fearless play against the nation's top team solidified his reputation as a big-game performer. Despite lighting up the field with impressive performances, Manziel's off-field shenanigans were slowly catching up to him. On June 29, 2012, Manziel was arrested in College Station, Texas, following a late-night altercation. The incident began when a friend of Manziel's allegedly directed a racial slur at a man on the street. When the man confronted them, Manziel stepped in to defuse the situation, claiming his friend didn't mean it and that he would take him home. However, the confrontation escalated, leading to a physical fight. Police arrived shortly after, and Manziel was arrested and charged with 3 misdemeanors: disorderly conduct, failure to produce identification, and possession of a fake driver's license. The fake ID, which listed his age as 21, was particularly problematic given that Manziel was only 19 at the time. Manziel pleaded guilty to the charge of failing to produce identification, while the other 2 charges were dismissed. Despite the arrest, Manziel managed to regain the trust of his team and head coach Kevin Sumlin, who overlooked Johnny's behavior. Later in the season, Manziel lit up Mississippi State in a 51-41 shootout, tying his single-game career high with 5 touchdowns while throwing for 446 yards. However, the game wasn't without its flaws, as he also tossed 3 interceptions, showcasing the high-risk, high-reward style that defined his play. Despite another stellar season, Manziel finished 5th in the Heisman Trophy voting, a step back from his historic win the previous year. Still, almost everyone knew his name, and it was only a matter of time till he made it to the big leagues. Johnny Manziel's journey to the 2014 NFL Draft was a whirlwind of hype, scrutiny, and polarizing options. At the NFL Combine, Manziel opted not to throw, choosing instead to showcase his arm at his Texas A&M Pro Day. There, he impressed with his athleticism and improvisational skills, but scouts remained divided. Analysts like Mike Mayock acknowledged his magic, but questioned whether his style could translate to the NFL. Despite the doubts, Manziel's charisma and college success kept him in the first-round conversation. On draft day, the Cleveland Browns traded up to select Manziel with the 22nd overall pick, a move that sent shockwaves through the league. The pick was met with mixed reactions. Some analysts, like ESPN's John Gruden, believed Manziel's creativity and confidence could revitalize the Browns. Others, like Mel Kiper Jr., cautioned that his unorthodox style might struggle against NFL defenses. The Browns' decision was seen as a gamble, banking on Manziel's star power to energize a struggling franchise. Ultimately, the draft marked the peak of Manziel's NFL hype, a moment of hope and uncertainty that foreshadowed how it all came crashing down. Johnny Manziel's rookie season with the Cleveland Browns in 2014 was a turbulent mix of flashes of potential and glaring struggles. The drama began in the preseason when Manziel was fined $12,000 by the NFL for flipping off the Washington Redskins bench during a game, an early sign of the immaturity that would plague his career. Despite the hype surrounding his first-round selection, Manziel lost the starting quarterback job to Brian Hoyer, beginning the season as a backup. Manziel made his regular season debut on November 30th against the Buffalo Bills, entering in the 4th quarter and providing a spark with a 10-yard rushing touchdown, his first in the NFL. However, the Browns lost 26-10, and his limited action left fans wanting more. His first start came in Week 15 against the Cincinnati Bengals, but it was a disaster. Manziel completed just 10 of 18 passes for 80 yards, threw 2 interceptions, and posted a dismal 27.3 passers, rating in a 30-0 blowout loss. His second start against the Carolina Panthers ended early due to a hamstring injury after he went 3 of 8 for 32 yards. The Browns lost again 17-13, and Manziel was ruled out for the season finale. By the end of his rookie year, Manziel's stat line was underwhelming. 18 of 35 for 176 yards, no passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 1 rushing touchdown. More concerning were the questions about his work ethic and commitment. Over 20 sources within the Browns organization criticized his preparation, with one anonymous player calling his rookie season a 100% joke. Despite the negativity, some teammates like cornerback Joe Hayden remained hopeful about his potential. You would think a bad rookie season would be enough to knock some sense into Johnny Manziel, but things only got worse from here. After being ruled out of the preseason with elbow pain, Manziel entered the regular season as the backup for Josh McCown. His first significant action came in Week 1 against the New York Jets, where he replaced an injured McCown and threw his first career touchdown pass. A 54-yard strike to Travis Benjamin. However, 3 second-half turnovers, including 2 fumbles, led to a 31-10 loss. In Week 2, Manziel started against Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans, delivering a solid performance with 172 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 28-14 win, offering a glimpse of his potential. Manziel's opportunities were sporadic, as McCown reclaimed the starting job when healthy. He saw brief action in Week 7 and Week 8 after McCown suffered injuries, but struggled to make an impact. In Week 9, Manziel started against the Cincinnati Bengals, but completed just 15 of 33 passes for 168 yards in a 31-10 loss. His best statistical game came in Week 10 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he threw for 372 yards and a touchdown. But the Browns still lost 39. Despite the flashes of brilliance, Manziel's inconsistency and off-field behavior continued to overshadow his play. In October, Manziel was pulled over by police after a heated argument with his then-girlfriend, Colleen Crowley, in his car. While no charges were filed, Manziel admitted to having consumed alcohol earlier that day, raising concerns about his behavior and decision-making. The incident was a red flag for the Browns, who were already growing frustrated with his lack of professionalism. The situation escalated in November, just a week after being named the Browns' starting quarterback for the remainder of the season. Manziel was demoted to third string by head coach Mike Pettin. The decision came after a video surfaced online showing Manziel partying during the team's bye week. To make matters worse, it was revealed that Manziel had lied to the Browns about the video, claiming it was old footage. On November 17th, Manziel was named the starter for the remainder of the season, but the decision was short-lived. A week later, he was demoted to third string after video surfaced of him partying in Texas during the team's bye week. The Browns turned to Austin Davis instead, even after McCown suffered a season-ending injury. Manziel was reinstated as the starter following a 37-3 loss to the Bengals and led the Browns to a 24-10 win over the San Francisco 49ers, ending a 7-game losing streak. However, his season ended on a sour note when he missed the final game due to a concussion, with reports alleging he was in Las Vegas instead of with the team. By early 2016, the Browns had seen enough. After a domestic violence investigation and a pattern of unprofessional behavior, the team announced their intention to cut ties with Manziel on March 11, 2016. They officially released him, marking the end of a tumultuous 2-year tenure that failed to live up to the hype of his Johnny Football persona. Despite expressing a desire to return to the league, no team was willing to take a chance on him. In 2018, Manziel attempted a comeback participating in the Spring League, but that wasn't enough to secure him an NFL contract. Later that year, he signed with the Canadian Football League's Hamilton Tiger Cats, but his stint was underwhelming. After being traded to the Montreal Alouettes, Manziel struggled with consistency and was eventually released in 2019, following a violation of his contract related to off-field behavior. Manziel's next stop was the Alliance of American Football in 2019, but the league folded before he could make an impact. So how bad was Johnny Manziel? Johnny Manziel was one of those players you just wished you could knock some sense into. Considering what he achieved in college, Manziel definitely had what it took to make it in the big leagues, but he lacked the discipline to get there. Crashing the Heisman as a freshman was already crazy enough, but he also put up crazy numbers to make you believe he could tear the league apart, but threw it all away. As a kid growing up, he probably had a support system that tried to keep him in check, but they couldn't protect him from himself forever. He was a bit of a problem child, but everything went downhill once he signed that professional contract. What do you guys think went wrong with Johnny Manziel? Could he have been saved? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in for our next video. Peace out.